All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Tango Movement Lab. We are sharing on YouTube and on Zoom. So if you see me stopping, then you'll know it's to let someone in. Please keep on going. And today's class will be a little bit of a trickier class. And let's see, what is going on here? There's something strange happening with this background. Apologies. Okay. Anyways, we'll figure it out later. So we're going to be focusing on what can potentially make each one of us a good dancer. And this started as a question to the Bautanz community of what you consider a good dancer. So say you're in a milonga and you're watching the dance floor and you're looking looking at your fellow dancers dance around, and what is it that makes you say so and so is a good dancer? And of course, there are the technical aspects of that, like they follow the music, they listen to their partner, they are respectful of the other couples on the dance floor, they know how to manage the dance floor, and all of these great things. But then we wanted to get to a different perspective of that question, and which is actually much more personal, and it really has to do with what your perspective is of a good dancer, and that is linked, of course, to how you'd like to dance. So that's why the question was placed in that way. So what makes a good dancer in your eyes? And of course, all answers, all responses to this question can be correct. There's no correct and incorrect answer, because it is a very personal after a certain point. So think about this as we are moving today, and try to find what the characteristics of a good dancer are for you. And I'll be sharing what they are for me, but you don't need to agree with me, because as I said, there are no right and wrong answers here. So to get started, I need to take this background off, which I cannot possibly find how to. Ay. There we go. Figured it out. Great. So what I'd like to put forward is this feeling of buoyancy. When you're watching someone and it feels like they're taking up the whole room. So that is one of my things that for some reason attracts me to specific dancers. They fill up the room with their presence, even if they're not doing something extraordinary or something absolutely incredible, but it is their presence that makes the room full. So, and it is this buoyancy in their movement. So I wanted to introduce this idea of buoyancy, and we can play with it, and then we can introduce more ideas. And of course, you can leave me comments in the chat, either on YouTube or in the chat in Zoom, and we'll take it from there. Before we do any of that, let's put some music on, and let's do a little bit of dancing. And this is my suggestion. Of course, you can always disregard. But my suggestion is that you look for buoyancy in your movement. Um, okay. Mm, so I'm just gonna go, give me a quick second. Okay, let me share the music here. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's do this one. Oops, should do that. Okay, let's pause this music. All right, so buoyancy is a thing that's difficult to capture, and most of the times you don't get there with the first go. But I wanted to give you some tools that you can practice with, and you can play with, and include in your practice or even in your dances. So some of them are going to be more elaborate exercises, let's put it this way, and some of them will be more smaller things that you can actually include in different ways in how you approach your dance. So let's start with something very simple, but something that we don't usually look at when we are working with tango. Oops, sorry. Someone's trying to come in. Okay, good. So, and we're going to be looking at fingers and hands, and then making our way through the arms into the body. We can stay, you can sit if you like, that's totally up to you. We're gonna make our way up, but I wanted you first to settle in this position. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time to settle into practice. So let's take a moment to just be, maybe a couple of breaths. If you feel that you need to close your eyes, you can do that as well. If you were dancing before, allow for this this energy to settle, going from not moving to moving. And now very, very gently, and you don't have to do what I'm doing, but I need to show you something in the video. I would just want you to start moving the fingertips. And of course, the rest of your hand is going to move, but we're mostly focused on the fingers. And try to really play with it so they can go in any different direction. And yeah, different movements. Oops, falling off here. And see how this can actually start energizing your hands, activating them more. And it doesn't have to be all tension. It can be something really soft and smooth. You can change rhythms, right? You can go really slow. You can go really fast. You can do whatever you like. And then I want you to take that into the hands. So it's now the source. Think of it as the source of the movement. So it's not that the fingers are not moving anymore. It's just that the source of the movement has changed, and it's the palm and the L of the hand that's doing different movements. How you're closing, how you're opening, right? And you can isolate it, but you can keep the fingers into the game. And then take that into the wrists. And now you have, it starts to feel like something is happening. And this can go somewhere. Yeah. So we tend to keep our hands very out of this dance. And then travel it up. So you have your forearms. And now this might start becoming a little bit funnier and like, what are we doing here? But make sure the hands are still part of this game. And the upper arm will also move, but we're not focusing on that. It's the elbows and the and the forearms and the wrists and the hands and the fingers and all of that comes into it. And now make the source of the movement the upper arm. So you have your full arm moving. And now it starts to feel like you are touching all the walls, the ceiling, the floor around you. And it gives the body a different kind of energy and reach without actually having to reach out. So you're not going to the end of range, but you're almost bouncing off the walls here, or your virtual walls. So if you're sitting, I want you to make your way up. I'm going to step away from you just for a bit. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to start over, going through it a little bit faster. And then we're going to transfer this to the feet. So let's settle here. Found a position that feels, you feel relaxed, but you're not letting go. You're not letting go. You're ready to move. You're engaged, but you're not overly engaged. You're relaxed, but you're ready to move. There is this balance between readiness and relaxation. And once you found that, I want you to start from the fingers. And you know exactly where we're going. So it's almost as if you have this tune in your mind and you're like, yeah, but you're in a public place and you don't want to really give away the fact that you're dancing. And you're just playing with the fingertips, with the fingers, not just the fingertips. That would be interesting. You're playing with the fingers. And now you're putting the whole hand in. And if you have a tune in mind, it's like, oh, okay, right? And you try to do different things. And now I take it up to the wrists. Yeah. And this is starting to grow. And it's starting to bring a groove into the rest of your body. Let it happen. It doesn't have to be only the hands working, but the source of the movement are the hands and the wrists specifically. And then you take it up to the forearms and they're doing their thing. And again, it doesn't have to be just the forearms. It can, but it doesn't have to be. The wrists and the fingers and palms can also move. And the same goes with the upper arm. That can also move, but the source of the movement is the forearms and the elbows. And now you take it up to the upper arm and the whole arm is engaged. So don't forget about the forearm and the wrists and the hands and the fingers and everything. So everything is moving in this rhythm that you are creating, and you don't need to follow me. And now as you keep on going, keep on moving however you want to move with the arms. I don't mind. You don't need to copy the teacher. I want you to take your mind to your feet and specifically to the toes. So now it's like, oh, you're doing the same thing that you were doing with the fingers, but you're doing it with the toes. And I'm going to take my socks off so you can actually see me a little bit better. There we go. So now the toes are in the, like, yeah. They're doing exactly what the fingers were doing before. And you might feel that this is relating to what your fingers are doing at the same time. And I'll bring the feet into the game. So they're doing also they're initiating a movement. The arms are still moving. If you're wondering if you're doing Tango, no, of course. But this does come into Tango. And we're going to see how that will change our dance at the end of the session. And go up to the ankles. And I want you to feel the different options that your ankles can create for you. We're over our feet so almost all day, and we might never explore all the options that we have. And this is your opportunity. Good. And then make the source of the movement the foreleg. Good. And isn't it great? We're not using any music, but we're dancing, right? And go all the way up through the upper leg into the hips. And here you have your walks, right? And the whole leg, toes included, are dancing. Toes included are dancing. Right. There we go. Back. Yes. Good. That's so. Come to pause and notice how you feel. So go past the, oh, this feels good, or, oh, I feel a little bit tired. Go past that and notice the energy that you have in the body now is probably heightened. And also notice that your feet and your hands are more awake. So it's almost as if you've been caressing the walls for some time, and now you're like, oh, the sensations on your hands and your feet are enhanced and upgraded. Anyways, however you want to call that. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put some music on, and if you don't like my music, that is absolutely okay. You can choose a music that you like. And okay, there we go. So find something that you enjoy, because I'm not going to be giving you any cues. So you can mute me for this part, and hopefully unmute me afterwards. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to put up a song that takes a little bit longer than what we all might be feeling comfortable with. But I want you to try exactly what we did now without any music. Maybe you take longer. Maybe you go a little bit faster through it. Allow for the music to inspire you, but don't feel that you are a prisoner of the music. It's just there to make things a little bit more comfortable. So most importantly, play with activating the edges of your body, fingers, toes, and see how these two how this activation starts to inform the rest of your body as you're moving through this song. Okay. Let's go. here. All right. Um, okay. So I wish you were here with me so I could ask you how you're feeling. But feel free to leave comments in the chat. Please see. Uh, Zoomers may, okay, maybe not. But uh, feel free if you want to raise a hand, or let me see if there is something. Okay, maybe not. Okay. So yes. So let's keep on building. And I did forget to say that if you want to, I am suggesting that we do not wear heels just yet, or even shoes, generally just yet, because I want us to really explore the feet, and when you are in the shoe, things might be a little bit restricted. So, but if you are not in an environment where you can be without shoes, then that's totally understandable. That you need to keep them on, but maybe you can do socks instead. So, just a suggestion. Okay, so let's keep on playing with this element. And I want us to, we did work on feet the last time, and we did look at that L or C shape that we have on our feet. But what I wanted us to do today was activate it a little bit more, working on it, caressing the floor. So we did do that, I believe, the last time as well, but it's always a good reminder. It is part of the areas that we do not usually use when we are dancing, specifically tango, and especially if you're wearing heels, but even with regular shoes. So what I want you to do is choose one foot to stand over. Doesn't matter which one it is, because we're going to be changing in this. And I want you to place a little bit of weight on the front part of the foot. So not the toes, but the metatarsal. And go from the inside to the outside, just rolling. And the rest of the body will move, but we are focusing on that area. Notice the characteristic movement that's happening in that area, that you're not just going, if you just go from right to left, it's very awkward and you're not feeling that much of a shift. But if you go, let me turn a little bit this way, if you go with a little bit of a curve like this, almost with an out and in, with a little bit of a wave, then you start to feel that there is much more movement, much more of a shift of weight really going on the inside and really on the outside. And almost if you let that wave take over, it will take you back. Right? So, and we're going to look at that in just a little bit. So instead of going left to right, which is, the movement is much smaller, not just because there is another direction to it, but also because there is not much space here. You'll also notice that once you put this wave, once you do like a semicircle instead of a straight line, you can go through, you'll feel all the toes adjusting. So it's not big toe, big toe, baby toe that the line gives us, but it's the toes, they are almost like playing the piano on the floor. So and switch over to the other side, and let's play again. And you can try this linear movement from right to left. You'll see it's not very, it gives you maybe from the big toe to the middle, and then you really they have to push over. So it's very restricted. And we want to really open it up to the possibility of using the whole foot, and you're rolling through it. So you're not pounding over. Just be careful. You're not pounding over the inner part or any part, actually. You're rolling through, rolling through, rolling through. I'm just going to turn this way so you can see this really, this wave line, wave, roll, roll. And the toes are playing with the floor. They're doing this almost. So if you have too much weight forward, your toes are going to tend to grip. We don't want to do that. We want to be a little bit further back. If you're used to dancing there, this is a good time to play with how you adjust the your weight over your foot. Okay, a couple more. Fantastic. And come to a little bit of a pause. And now your feet should feel really, really very, very much awake. And let's go switch over to the other side and place one foot slightly back. So not too far back, just slightly back. So not too close, a normal size step, something you feel comfortable with. If you need to hold on to something, go for it. And what we're gonna do is, we're gonna, let me see, this might be a better view. Actually, let me adjust you, sorry. I think this is gonna be better. You see my shoes there, waiting to be worn. There we go, that's better, yeah. Okay, so we're gonna take one foot back, a step that feels, in terms of size, comfortable to you. And we're going to do exactly the same thing. And I'm going to show it to you in different directions. So you're rolling towards the outside of your foot. Your first touch is with the big toe and the metatarsal, that chunk of meat inside center, so not fully inside but not fully centered, and you're rolling towards the outside and exaggerate it as if you want to massage your foot on the ground, and your toes are still doing this little game that we've been working on from the beginning of this class. And now if your hands want to go for it and play along, that's good. Bring him in. And I want you to do 2 more of these, and then let this wave take you through. And you're going to end up in this, on the outside of the foot. I'm going to stay on the same foot. I'm just going to turn so you can see this other view. So starting with the middle to inside of the metatarsal, and you're rolling out. And you're rolling out. And the toes are still very much awake and they're helping. So you're not in a line. If you try to do a line here, then it doesn't work. You're not going anywhere. And you're really massaging that metatarsal. Really exaggerate it. You're not pounding on the inside. Be careful with this. This is not a good alignment. Don't break the line of the ankle. See, breaking, not breaking. And without breaking the line of the ankle, you roll. And let's do two more. One. And let that wave take you back. See how I've made my way around this sea. And if you're wondering where the sea is, here. So let's go around the sea. If we were to do it in a line, it would look like this. See how it's much more flat, and you end up further towards the inner part of your foot compared to the sea that takes you around the edge, the outer edge, and closer to the middle of the heel. So really massage that outer meaty part of your foot. Massage it. You want to put the arms in? Do it. Go for it. Fantastic. Last one. And come back to center. And before we do anything else, notice the difference between the foot you were massaging and the foot that you were not massaging. Take a moment to just notice how different they feel. Maybe one is more open. Maybe you feel that you've somehow increased the width of your foot. Maybe it feels it's warmer, has more blood flowing. All of these interesting things might be happening. When you're ready, we're going to switch over to the other side, as expected. So again, a size of a step that works for you, totally up to you. Maybe I'll keep this angle because it's might help us. And you're not going back in a line. This would be a line. We're going with that wave. So see the difference between the two movements. One, a line, a straight line. I guess a wave is a line as well. A straight line. A curvy line. I want you to try to go with a curve. For this time, at least. For now. Go with a curve. And notice how if you hold your body still, if you don't let that movement affect your body, it will be you're going to feel some restriction on how much of a curve you can do. But if you let that change how your body is moving, then things will be different. Try not to think immediately like a direct linkage to tango. We're going, we're taking the winding road, pun intended, there. Okay. And now let's do two more. One, and take that wave. And now I'm just going to switch so you can see the back. Remember, we're aiming to go around this sea. Around the sea. Let's go. And roll. Roll. And as you're rolling forward, you're going around the sea again. Right? We are very much focused on the back, but we want to follow the same path going forward. Going forward. So you're following the curve going back and going front. Going back and going front. And going front. Going back and going front. Good. Let's do two more. One and two and pause for a moment and feel how your feet are feeling. Let me adjust you. Take your moment, take your time, take your time. I'm just adjusting the cameras here for a bit so you can actually see me. Good. Okay. All right. So notice the difference from where we started and where we are now. And let's see a couple of things. First, how our feet are rooted now into the ground. Some people might use the word more open, connected. I'm trying to come up with different words that might relate. Expanded, awake, right? All of these great words. But most importantly, you want to feel how different the weight is being transmitted from the upper body through the hips, through the pelvis, through the legs, through the feet, into the ground. So, and that is the other element for me that is, of course, related to the first one. So the first one for a good dancer for me was buoyancy. And the second one was grounding, yielding, this feeling that you get that this person is like rooted into the ground, that they are almost like they're coming out of the ground and expanding into the whole room as they're dancing. So those two things are for me what catches my eye in a dancer, and I say, okay, this is a good dancer. Okay, so try to feel this yielding, and yielding doesn't mean let go. Yielding means reaching, right? Acknowledging, maybe listening, right? And leaving a print almost on the ground. Okay. So after this, I need to take a breath. Okay. So after this, let's shift over to the first leg that we were working on, just to give that first the other foot a little bit of just a little tiny bit of a break. I'm just adjusting you so you can see my feet. Yeah, that's it. So after this, I want you to shift over and keep this yielding as you switch to one foot balance. And this is the trick. Sometimes we tense up, we try to hold our position. We see value in stillness, which can be valuable in some cases, but at this moment, we want to be ready to move. So this that we've established, want to switch it over to one foot, and now use it's almost like the first exercise that we start with the toes and then the foot and then the ankle, right? And I want you to do the same thing, only as a baby version of it. And the foreleg, and the upper leg, and so all these parts come into play as you shift the weight instead of going in one line that you're forgetting basically about about this adjustment that you're talking about. You're going in a wave. And activate the toes and the foot and the ankle and the foreleg and the upper leg, and take your way over and take your way over, and see how this small movement now becomes a whole dance, right? And you feel like it's something that's coming all the way up here, even if it's so small, so small. And take you over, and you still feel that you are holding on to this groundedness. You don't want to let go. This sweet spot where you feel you're relaxed, you're not tensed, but you feel that you're ready. You get this power. Good. And I'm just gonna go this way. Yeah. And settle over one foot. And take the other foot back. Normal back step. Use the wave to roll your way back. But now I want you to play with that other foot too. So this is free. This is so relatively relaxed. And the other foot is like, yeah, let's get going. And remember, we're going back and we're playing with that C. So you have this not going straight, see? One line, one straight line, not a straight line. Exaggerate. So if I turn this way, you're going C, C, C. So you have almost like an ocho on the ground as you're curving the way. And I know we've done this exercise before, but now with this new perspective of all the different parts of the foot are coming into this, and maybe they're inspiring the arms to go, yeah, let's do this. So you're massaging now both feet on the ground. And your body needs to adjust as well, because if you keep your body here, you can't do it. So you need a little bit of flow in the upper body as well. And the same thing happens when you're going from the back. There's less one. Let's switch over to the other side, and we're gonna close with a song. Every time I feel the time is not enough. So let me turn this way and settle over that one foot. Go back. And already you're like, yeah, let's do this. Right? So let's do this. Go. Remember, C. And feel how the two legs are working together. And every little part from the toes to the hip is moving. Also, another detail to look at, it's not a detail, it's actually very important. You can't do it if your feet are here. It's too much. You can, actually, obviously you can, but it's too much movement. So you need to find the center line. So then it feels that curve smoothly rolls through the heel of the front foot, through the big toe of the back foot. Same thing happens if you overcross. If you overcross, you're falling, right? Or you need to really tighten things up as if you're on a tightrope. And you're most likely doing a straight line. So, and if you lose it, that's okay. You can find it again. Feel free to adjust the feet in this rebound. And so after building all of this energy up, I'm going to put a song for us to bring this experience of buoyancy and yielding. So take as much time as you need to find this base. Maybe you didn't even lose it. Maybe you just keep going. So find your base and go for it. Here we go. Um, mm-hmm. Hear my voice, hear my dream. Let us make a world in which I believe. Hear my word, hear my cry. Let me see a change through these eyes. You may think I won't be heard, still I'll raise this hand, spread these words of fire, of hope and desire, and I'll let them free. Hear my voice, hear my dream. Let us make a world in which we believe, in which we believe. Hear my word, hear my tone, hear my voice. Awesome. There we go. Okay. And this, oops, there we go. And this brings us to the end of our session for today. What I want to leave you with is this. What we were working on today was buoyancy and yielding. And why we did that was because it all started with what makes a good dancer in your eyes. So you see this person, you say, yeah, this person is catching your attention. For me, it is this seeing them coming out from the floor and reaching out to all of us around the dance floor. It's sometimes like you see that and it's like such a powerful feeling that it doesn't matter what they're doing. Maybe they're just standing, maybe they're not even walking, but they have such a strong presence. So that's why I suggested that we look into buoyancy and yielding. So as you go through this practice, maybe something else will come up that will be important to you. Send it to me at chrisa.assis@bautanz.com. I want to read your thoughts. You can even send me a video. You can send whatever you like. I want to see what you're looking for, because what catches your eye is most likely what you aspire to, what you're looking for in yourself. So it would be great to find these little gems that will help me teach you better, and that will give you some possible clues on what path you want to follow as you're practicing your tango and generally your dances. So with that, thank you very much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.